creating that warm introduction and that friendly greeting can disarm them and just help the customer be able to handle what they need to.
Us being able to reach out to them before they reach out to us makes us a part of the solution and not a part of the problem.
We use our brain to think and really build those relationships, because that's not something a computer can do.
Hey there, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro, your favorite industry best friend. Well, I'm here to let you know that you've done something great for your agency by joining and listening in on our podcast or watching our YouTube channel. I just want to remind everybody that we're here to help. So if you need anything, drop a comment, go to our website, hang out with our chat, or just contact us. There's a problem in your agency, I got solutions, right? I like to think of it, you got a problem, I'll solve it. But let's get into the content today so that you can improve your awareness and knowledge of solutions that exist to the agency's core challenges.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly vlog. We're all gathered here today. I'm Gina. I'm a performance partner here with APP. I have Steven, another performance partner, and Sarah, our live virtual trainer. Today, we're going to dive into some customer service examples. Here at customer service, we talk about it. We want our agencies to live and breathe it. But let's really dive into some strong examples of how you can execute that day in and day out in consistent ways. So not only does your team know how to provide this strong customer service, but it's consistent and your customers can learn to come and expect it. All right, I want to tee it off with, how do we greet our customers? How are we introducing ourselves when we first speak to them? So what does that look like to you guys?
That was a good thing. It sets the whole tone for the entire call. And when I call somewhere and I have a question or issue and somebody's like, thank you for calling the agency. I'm like, hello. They're like, what? What do you need? I'm like, oh, we gotta go. Right. I have to wait because you're ready.
Yeah, right. I'm massive energy.
They're like, hey, thank you for choosing XYZ agency. How can I help you today? Or this is so-and-so. I'm happy to help. I'm like, oh, thank you for helping. And I feel almost bad being aggressive towards somebody that sounds so sweet. Right? But there's a difference between confidence and quiet. And I think you have to find that perfect balance. So, strong greeting goes a long way to set the tone for the whole rest of the call and shift the client's mindset from the beginning.
Absolutely.
I like that. I think when it comes to warm and friendly greetings as well, you need to see the phone ringing as an opportunity and not an interruption.
Yes.
And I feel like your client can tell the difference as well. There's a great saying out there. There's a difference between being tolerated and being celebrated. Are we celebrating our clients, or is it just, oh, this is the worst? Because they can tell.
Right. And the reality is, we've all had to call a call center before, or call to pay a bill or get clarification on something. Nobody goes into those phone calls thinking, I am so excited to call my cell phone carrier and ask a question on my bill. I can't wait. No one's starting their day enthusiastic to do that. So creating that warm introduction and that friendly greeting can disarm them and just help the customer be able to handle what they need to. And one thing that I would like to add is I am fully on board with the warm, friendly greeting, but I don't think we spend enough time ending the call with the same amount of preparation. So you'll get into that back and forth where you're like, okay, anything else I can do for you? No, thank you. Okay, have a good day. Okay, you too. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Yeah, right, exactly. So I think it's important to have a little structure to how you end a call too. Any more questions? All right, thank you. I see I will follow up with you in a week. And let me get you over to our producer because I see you're missing your homeowner's insurance. Just something to structure it so it's not so much like high school romance. You hang up first. All right, let's talk now through how we're documenting personal notes in our files, the secret weapon, and how we build our relationships.
I am so obsessed with this. I should call my agent on Thursday to look at a couple of things, and he was like, how do you think it's a critical feedback? And I was like, shut up. This is my dating heart.
Aw.
We had a conversation about our dog like a few months ago, and that's one of the things I talked about. And he literally put a note in the file.
I love
and
that.
That's the first thing he asked.
Yes.
He's like, all right, Stephen, how you gonna see this really quick? He goes, wait, get all of our names. And I was like, you win today.
Absolutely.
It was all like, my day is one. You take as long as you need. I don't care.
Right.
If you knew who I was.
Yep.
But I think that we forget, people love when you remember things about them. They are kind of, is not everybody's ego kind of built up when somebody's like, oh my God, Sarah, how many wonders do we have left? Only 4? I mean, those little things can go a long way. So I think it's super important to put notes in the file so that anybody can use.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also called the agency a couple of months ago, and one of the nice ladies that was brand new to the agency was like, Shop, you have chicken. I want chicken so that. I'm like, well, I used to have chicken, but I have chicken anymore. Okay. Yes, we gave the chicken to a chicken lady that was starting an organic farm. People more chicken.
Oh my God.
That's the price. But I was like, wait, I don't think we talked before. She goes, no, but I just pulled up your file and, as you called and probably you got chicken. But I'm like, shut up. I love chicken for myself.
Yum.
So we didn't even have to make it awkward that we don't know them, right?
Right.
Talking to them. That being shut.
I think that everyone should be. It's important.
And I think if you're like me and you still have since then, know for your best friend. Because it's like, I may not remember what I had for breakfast 2 days ago, but if I can read it, then I can bring it up. And it makes it seem like I've got everything together. I've got the best memory in the world, even though it may or may not be the case. So I think that's also really important. But I'd love to talk about proactivity, right? And I think a lot of times, we love it when our clients are calling us, right? Again, the phone ringing is an opportunity, but how often are we actually being proactive and reaching out to the client? And I think it's also really important to be proactive and ask those questions because our clients don't know what to ask us. They work in insurance. So when they make changes, their knee-jerk reaction is that, oh, I need to call my agent and let them know about all this wonderful stuff that I did. Because again, they don't know. And so when we ask those open-ended questions that allows them to actually tell us what's going on in their life, and then we can take what's applicable and apply discounts or let them know how that benefits them or their need for additional policies. Yeah. I also think when your client calls you and they're upset about their policy, us being able to reach out to them before they reach out to us makes us a part of the solution and not a part of the problem.
Right.
If my bill has gone up and I'm calling you, then it's like, you didn't call me first. I had to see this in the mail. And if I didn't call you, this was just going to roll. Whereas if we call them 30 to 60 days before renewal and we just let them know, hey, we've noticed some changes. Let's talk about what's new in your life or how we can find additional discounts. Then that makes you an advocate for your client. They don't see you as the cause of their premiums going up as well. So I do think it's really important that we add a layer of productivity or proactivity to our day-to-day as well.
Absolutely. And I think that if we're only focusing our energy on the inbound calls, like you're saying, we're not giving ourselves a chance to even be proactive to anticipate the needs of our clients. And part of anticipating their needs is educating them, right? We know, like Sarah said, we know what questions to ask, but we also know what they should have and what their limits should be because we've seen the claims examples. We've heard the stories. We've taken those calls. So every opportunity we have with somebody is a new chance to teach them something new or to educate them a little bit. They'll make the decision at the end of the day, and that's okay. You can't care more about their policies than they do, but your job is to just give them the information. So what's something that, no matter who you're speaking with, that we can educate our clients on when we talk to them?
I mean, I might be personally obsessed with umbrella. So, the smaller agency I worked at, every client, every time we talked about umbrellas that they didn't already have. What they did, we made it personally relatable. Like, what do we have to do to get to there? And sometimes we'd be like, hey, I really think you need this policy. But step one, we need to look at your liability and we need to increase it on your primary policy. are you okay with, while we're doing this, me also taking care of that? Just one step closer to what you do.
Yeah.
Next time you win the lottery or your tax refund comes, you have an extra few $100. Let's get you an umbrella after that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I also understand budgets are real, but
Yep.
if we talk about it consistently, people can start budgeting.
Yeah.
And not being afraid of having the conversation over and over. I think it's also another, like, just because you talked about it once doesn't mean it registered or it's not. And if it's not relatable, how are they going to remember? So I think
Sure.
it's kind of a bit of an adventure, but umbrellas, I think, is a cute.
Absolutely. And the reality is you're going to hear no more often than you'll probably hear yes when educating or pointing out discounts or gaps in coverage. And that's okay. But being consistent and coming from a place of being helpful and just giving them the information is all that we can do. Additionally, I think it's very important to set the right standard for your agency and for your team and do what you say you're going to do. If your employer says, if you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I will provide you a paycheck, you're going to expect that they provide you that paycheck. So if you tell your customer, that was a really great question, Stephen, I need to contact an underwriter. I will get back to you by noon tomorrow. You need to get back to your customer by noon tomorrow. Letting them know that they can depend on you and that you're going to follow up is huge because it's going to eliminate them calling back, potentially leaving a Google review while waiting. Like, Stephen never called me back. He said by noon and it is 1:00. You have to keep them in the loop so that they can understand what's going on. I want to touch base now on how we can avoid being so transactional and falling into that trap of the poor service habits so we can eliminate those right now. How can we, let's dive into focusing on how busy the service person is versus the clients. Because we don't want our clients to sense that we're busy or overwhelmed. So how can we portray that to somebody?
Definitely by, we don't have to share everything with our clients. And I think sometimes being in an agency before, sometimes you hear the phone ring and you hear an audible, calling. It's like, yes, you can turn it on and turn it off. But
Sure.
if you have somebody walking into your agency,
Right.
That also tells your other team members that you have a lot of stress. Or also even just saying things like, I'm really busy right now, but I just really wanted to squeeze you in. Can we get this done really quickly? Right. And so sometimes if we're setting the expectation with the client that, hey, I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed, the client, although they only care about their problem, they're also like, is that going to impact my policy? Is that going to impact you being able to complete the changes that I'm requesting right now?
Right.
And so we always want to make sure that we're keeping that to a minimum and we're always putting our best foot forward, especially for clients. They don't need to know that we're swamped. And we've got lots of things going on.
And
I think go ahead.
Nope.
I think another thing that we also need to be aware of is people who don't want to get on the phones anymore.
Oh, pick it up.
I just want to send an email. I want to send an email today. I want to send an email tomorrow. If I can avoid being on the phone, then I'm just going to do that. And that's very transactional to our clients, right? Or sometimes we have clients where they choose independent agencies because they want to talk to somebody in their town. They want to be able to drive to somebody's office or hear somebody's voice or recognize that they're working with this individual all the time. And so I think a lot of times we just need to be able to give them a call, especially if we're delivering bad news. Bad news should never be sent in an email. That needs to be a conversation.
Yeah, don't break up with me in an email, please.
Imagine getting an email saying, you're getting non-renewed. Saying, give me a call if you want.
But we do.
TGYL. No. And we have to be using our management systems the right way so that we don't miss important deadlines, right? Like if our follow-ups, if we can flag something as urgent or not important, whatever it is, we need to be using that to not miss our key deadlines. And we can't have it both ways, right? We can't, as an agency, say, okay, we're going to set these great standards where we interact and we follow up and we're very customer service focused. And then sigh when the phone rings, rush through a call, not call a customer so they can hear us educating them, hear the inflection in our voice. Like, you have to pick. You're going to be working and you're going to be interacting with customers day in and day out, but you get to choose where your efforts are spent. Are they going to be spent playing catch up and rushing through everything, or are they going to be proactive, following our systems, hitting our deadlines, and really interacting with people? The root of poor service is being transactional and not interacting. What do you guys think about this piece?
My most section is telling service people, especially like Salesforce or either one side. Like the agencies that are worried about AI and the world changing too fast and all these things, is AI is never going to get your job. People still want to talk to people, but they want to talk to people, right? Phone, voice, in person. A text or email doesn't cut it. We can automate and train chatbots now. We can automate text messages like if this, then that, which some people tend to think they need very black and white rules in insurance. So what is every situation. If I have to map it all out, I can have a chatbot or AI agent tackle the situation more fast, efficient, and others with a better attitude than most agents. So how do we get to the point where we enjoy our job? We want to interact with the client in the right way that adds value to the relationship, and use the technology we have to make our job faster and more efficient so we can spend more face-to-face time where the value really comes. And 10 years ago, I would have never thought I would have been having this like TED talk about we have to talk to our customer.
Right.
Because everybody's like, oh, we can send an email. This is so cool. Well, maybe that's 20 years ago.
We can automate everything.
Right? We don't need everybody wandering in our office and sitting there for 30 minutes to make a payment. But we need to do review. We need to add value. We need to educate on gaps that they may have or ask questions about what they do so we know other coverages they may need. We need to use our brain to think and really build those relationships, because that's not something a computer can do.
100%. And we need to take all of everything that we've just discussed and realize that we can start to shift our focus from not just it's a policy somebody's calling about, but the protection that policy provides. So when somebody calls you about their homeowner's insurance, they're not thinking deductibles, water sewer backup, studs in, studs out. They're thinking, I have 3 bedrooms. My kids are each in a bedroom. I just redid my basement. Like, they're thinking what matters to them and not the like, click here for this button, click this, do this, process that. Like, they're invested in this. This is important to them now and in their future, because a loss can impact the next 10 years of their life. So it's very important that we start to shift how we approach the quickest phone calls to the lengthier ones. They need to be building on relationships, connecting with who we're speaking with, and really working to educate and protect our customers. All right, guys, I am going to end my thoughts with that. Does anybody else have a closing statement?
We want to look at the phone ringing as an opportunity. We want to go out of our way to make this call the best call of our client's day. And I think it's also important to remember you can choose your own attitude. If you're stressed or if you have a lot of stuff going on in your personal life, you do have the ability to lock that in the car in the morning and just put your best foot forward, and you can pick that up as soon as you clock out. So if you're looking for additional ways to wow your clients, we do have live virtual training. We also have our agency school course that goes over tons and tons of content on how you can go out of your way to make every single interaction the best interaction your client all day.
Love it.
Wow.
Sarah.
Wonderful.
And the thing I always think about is one of our things we talk about in agency standards and law service is clients are a delight, not a burden, right? So you have to change your attitude. Sometimes be like, they're being difficult, but it's probably because they don't understand something. So I have an invisible block tattoo, like big block letter on my whole forearm that says clients are a delight, not a burden. And there's days I have to literally look down at my arm and then look in the mirror and look at my arm, look in the mirror and be like, I am going to find a way to make this client a delight, not a burden, and solve their issue. right? Because then you won. And I think that's sometimes what we have to remember is service is something like a game. The goal is to win through positivity, energy, and just making sure the transaction is happening.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate all of your input today, guys. I appreciate everyone tuning in to listen. We'll have another blog coming next week. And I hope you like that one as well. Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. It is so fun giving you guys tips and tricks every single, week out there. Remember, you can find us on social media for updates. You can like or comment on this podcast or video, and we're here for you. And check out our website. There's a ton of tools. We have over 1,000 blogs on our website. We have over 1,000 videos on YouTube. You can search and find answers to your top questions. But also, if you need a little bit more help, you want a best friend that's there cheerleading for you, giving you the guidance that you need, and being there on some of those tough days, let us know. We'd love to meet your agency and learn if we're a good fit. All right, signing off. Go sell insurance.